Hey guys, this is Nishika Menezes. So hope you're all doing good. And today I'm doing this video to talk about the 4-pointer mail, which is the mail that you receive before your authorization letter has been issued. But also before that, I would talk about the visa situation that I was in and what kind of COPR validity I had, so that it sets a context as to this whole video. So March 16th was when I received a mail stating that I need to submit my passport for visa stamping, and on March 17th I submitted my passport to the VFS office in Bangalore. And unfortunately, the next day that after I submitted, a pandemic was announced in India and there was lockdown countrywide, because of which the visa office or the VFS was closed, or the visa office New Delhi, which was actually the assigned VO for me, was closed. And due to this, close to about 5 to 6 months, that is right from March up until July, I did not hear anything back about my passport, and there was no way that I could track as well. So meanwhile, what I was doing was I kept reaching out to the VFS, but nobody answered. I even reached out to the embassy, the visa office in New Delhi, and then again nobody answered. And when I reached on to the via phone, and when I sent a mail, I just got a generic response saying that the visa office is closed, and because of which I would not be hearing anything anytime soon. So I had absolutely given hopes that I'm going to travel this year, but somewhere around July 17th, around 17th and 18th, I got a message from Blue Dart saying that my passport has been dispatched. And I was actually happy that finally at least I got my passport back, and within few days I received my passport. And when I checked my passport, the issue that I had was, though March 16th was when my visa was approved and the passport request letter came through, due to the whole lockdown situation, the visa that was finally stamped had a issue date of July onto my passport. So because of which I thought that I'm not exempted from the whole travel exemption list that the Canadian government had issued, and as I mentioned, I had no hopes that I would be traveling. So what happened was, meanwhile, I was part of a lot of telegrams and WhatsApp groups about these kind of similar situations that people were in. And the Canadian government also said that when you want to travel, just raise a ready to travel web form and we will get back to you. And I just took my chance of raising the ready to travel web form. And before that, let me just tell you what my validity looked like in terms of the stamped COPR, stamped visa that I had. So July 17th was the issue date of the visa, and September 1st was the expiry date of the visa. The reason being, August 29th 2019 was when I actually did my medicals, and you have 1 year validity, and because of which my visa was also expiring on September 1st of this year, which is 2020. So this was a situation, but even if I had this kind of situation, what I did was I actually raised a web form in order to just to get to know what the situation was and if there is a possibility that I could travel. Also, meanwhile, I tweeted on Twitter to the IRCC channel, and they also got back. Actually explained the whole situation, saying that I was approved before March 18, but then the visa stamping took a lot of time, because of which now the issue date on the passport is somewhere in July. And they also got back to me saying that you're not exempt from the travel. You will be considered as approved, COPR approved post March 18th, and you will have to wait for further travel restriction updates. So that was the whole situation that I was in, and up until September end, I did not think that I would be able to travel. But somewhere around September end, which was around 20th of September, what I got was a 4-pointer mail from IRCC. And I was really happy, because when I read that mail, what I realized was, actually, even though my passport visa stamping was in July, I was still considered as an exempt to travel, because my visa, because as per the timelines, IRCC timelines, March 9th 2020 was when my application was approved, and it took some time to actually send the passport request letter, which was in March 16th. So this mail clearly stated that I'm exempt from travel restrictions and I can travel, because March 9th was when your uh, application was approved. So I got the 4-pointer mail, and coming to the main topic now of what the 4-pointer mail said, and what it actually had in terms of the questions that I had to answer. I just want to make sure that I read or have the right information. So I have my 4-pointer mail open here. So the mail actually said that you are approved for before March on March 9, so you're exempt from the travel restrictions. However, we would want to know if you can travel within next 16 days and answer the below questions. And the first question that they asked was, are you and any accompanying family members ready to travel to Canada within next 60 days to settle and become a permanent resident? So this was the first question that was asked. I was very much ready to travel because I had already quit my job. I was serving on my notice period, and I wanted to actually travel as soon as possible. So I did say that I am a single applicant and I'm ready to travel within next 60 days to settle in Canada. So that was the first question. Second question that they asked was, is there any reason preventing you or your accompanying family members from departing your current location to travel to Canada within next 60 days? So all this while I was actually looking at the Vande Bharat mission list that the government of India had released, saying that what are the phases and when can you actually travel. So I was keeping a tab on all the flights that was leaving, and there was pretty much flights almost every week leaving from India to Canada. And also apart from this, there was Air Canada also providing flights from India to Canada. So I very much knew that I have the feasibility to travel in case they provide me an AL. So for this second question, what I replied was, no, there is nothing preventing me from traveling from my current location in my home country to Canada within the next 60 days. I was actually on point. I did not beat around the bush when I was answering this question, because I did reach out to a couple of other people who had got this mail, and they sent me a snapshot of what kind of answers they had sent, and mostly everybody was suggesting me to be on point and not make it a very lengthy email. So I just stuck to the point in terms of answering what they are asked for. Now coming to the third question that they asked was, are you able to book a flight to Canada from your current location for yourself and your accompanying family members? So as I mentioned, I've done my research. So what I replied for this was, yes, I can see there are multiple flights operating from my home country to Canada every week. The options include Air Canada flights operating from India to Canada with single transit point. The flights have option of transiting either in Frankfurt or Vancouver or Toronto for my final destination of Calgary in Canada. So here I just mentioned about Air Canada because Air India, when I was checking, did not have a flight to Calgary. I am an Alberta provincial nominee candidate, so my final destination was Calgary. And when I was checking in Air India Vande Bharat mission, they had flights from Delhi to Toronto or Delhi to Vancouver, but then from Vancouver or Toronto to Calgary, I had to book domestic flights, and I wasn't sure what the situation of domestic flight operation in Canada was. So I didn't want to take a chance of saying that I would probably travel from Air Canada. So I just mentioned about travel from Air India. So that's why I just mentioned about Air Canada for this question. Showing that there is, if they would want to double check or whatever, they knew that Calgary is my final destination, and yes, there is flights in Air Canada. Fourth question was, do you have a proposed and feasible travel plan with a single transit point to Canada? If yes, attach proof such as plane tickets. If not, are you willing to book and confirm such travel plans as soon as approved? So I had not booked my flights or stay before I got this mail. So obviously I did not have any confirmation of flights. And also, if you notice here in this question, they're asking about single transit points, so they want to make sure that we don't have many transit points in between. That reduces their risk to be exposed to the virus. So, and also when I was reading through the flights, when I was checking through the flights, right, most of them said that not to book from European countries, because transit point in European country, because the cases were increasing there. So that's why even I didn't want to take a chance. So I was not going to book through European countries. So I was just going to book Bangalore, Delhi, Toronto, Calgary, or either Vancouver, whichever was available as per the timelines that I would get my AL authorization letter. So for this question, what I answered was yes, I'm willing to book flights for my travel as soon as extension to my visa or any such approval is provided. My initial plan was to travel in June 2020, but due to pandemic I was unable to do so, and I'm eagerly waiting for an approval to start my journey to settle in Canada. I just want to show my willingness and eagerness to travel as soon as I get my AL, so that they're convinced that I am going to be traveling as soon as they provide me the extension. So these were the 4 questions that were asked. Apart from this, they were mentioned. They also mentioned about attaching documents. So what they asked was for the proof of your plan to settle and remain in Canada, such as address where you will stay, lease agreement, home ownership document, employment plans in Canada, which had wherein I had to mention the location of the work, letter from employer, and any other relevant information to demonstrate arrangements for your arrival. So with regards to the place I would stay, again I had no confirmation of where I was gonna stay, but then I had a friend of mine who was in Calgary, and I thought of providing my friend's address in order to say that I'm gonna stay there for my initial time, especially during my quarantine time frame. So what I said was, for my initial month of stay in Canada, I will be staying with my close friend in Calgary. I will be utilizing the taxi services such as Uber to travel from airport to my friend's place, and will be then quarantine myself for 14 days and abide by the self-isolation rules during this time. And then I just provided my friend's address. And also, to be a bit more convincing, what I said was, post 1 month I will be moving to a long-term rental house in Calgary. I have already reached out to a couple of landlords and booked and looked into properties in and around Quarry Park, Riverbend. Those were the areas in Calgary that I was planning to stay at, and also provided a snapshot of my conversations with them. So what I did was, there's this Rentfaster um, website wherein you can look for properties for rent. So I had conversations with few of the landlords with regards to certain properties that I wanted to rent when I'm there in Calgary. So I provided screenshots of those conversations, which were basically the email exchange that I had. And then with regards to employment, I mentioned that I have already started searching for job opportunities in Alberta. I have worked for I used to work for IKEA in India, though I did not have any specific job offer. What I said was, I'm exploring the options. I have done my research as to what all companies are there in Calgary where I'm moving, and I also provided screenshot of conversations with those companies. For example, as I mentioned, I used to work for IKEA. I had reached out to a couple of people in IKEA Calgary to say that I'm going to travel. Is there any job opportunities? And they said that once you travel, do let us know, and then we will provide you more context as to what all job opportunities are there, because even they were a little skeptical as to when I would reach, as my travel dates were not fixed. But however, I used this as proof to provide a picture of my employment situation. Then the next point was with regards to acceptable plan of quarantine for 14 days in Canada, including proof of funds, which can be bank or credit card statements, and plan to show how you will obtain groceries, access medical care, and other essential services. So for this, what I said was, I attached basically my proof of funds, and I had three different proof of funds that I was going to show. One was my savings bank account statement, another one was my credit card statement, and third was my provident fund statement, which I had provided. So these were not exactly the same proof of funds that I had provided when I was submitting my application. So when I submitted my application, I actually just had fixed deposits created, and that was the proof of funds that I submitted. But by the time all this situation happened, my FDs which I had created for 1 year expired or matured, and they were reverted back to my account, and that's why I did not have a FD. So what I did was I just provided my savings bank statement to state that this is the liquid amount that I currently have, which is readily accessible to me. And they actually wanted to see what are the liquid cash that you can readily which is readily available at your disposal. So that's why one call out, this did not match my proof of funds. These were entirely different kind of proof of funds that I provided. Then with regards to accessibility to groceries and medical care, what I said was I will be utilizing the local delivery apps for both grocery and meals and have my food delivered. Also, for my initial 14 days, my friend with whom I will be staying will also help me with getting access to my daily necessities such as groceries, medical care, and other essential help. So I just did a research as to what are delivery apps are available, and made sure that there was options available for me to get food or groceries delivered to the place of to the place where I was going to quarantine. So that's exactly what I've just mentioned here. And I just closed this whole mail or reply by saying that as I mentioned earlier, I'm eagerly waiting for an extension on my visa to travel and settle in Canada. I'm ready to travel as soon as the approval is granted. Looking forward to hearing from you at the earliest. And that is what I actually replied to my 4-pointer mail. I was kind of on to the point of the questions that they asked, did not beat around the bush, because I saw a lot of people mentioned a lot of things. Maybe it worked for them, did not work for them, I'm not sure. But then I didn't want to take a chance of sending up very lengthy emails, but rather very effective emails. So I just answered to the point, also mentioned my eagerness to travel so that they can be convinced that I'm going to be traveling. So this is when I received in September end, so 20th or something like that, and I took about 5 to 6 days to reply. And once I replied, within I got an acknowledgement from them saying that they have received my response, and it would take up to 10 working days for them to reply. And I think after just 10 working days, I got a mail directly onto my um, email saying that this is your authorization letter. And my authorization letter mentioned what my name was, what my express entry profile application number was, and when my visa was approved, the initial visa was approved, which was March 9th. And it also mentioned that I'm exempted from the travel restrictions and I can travel within the coming days. Along with this information, what was provided was an updated counterfoil number, which was the visa number that you would have on your visa, on your passport stamped. They provided an updated counterfoil. Also, my CIC account got updated with this new counterfoil number, and they said the new visa that I have is valid up until Feb end, which, considering that August was when my medical expired, so from September to Feb they extended my medicals to next 6 months. I did not have to do any remeds. They just extended my medicals. But one condition that was mentioned in this authorization letter was I had to travel before December 26th. So that was exactly 60 days from the first mail that I had received. So as they had mentioned in the 4-pointer mail, also saying that I have to be ready if I'm ready to travel for the next 60 days. They kind of kept the same timeline and said that I have to travel within the next 60 days. And that's the reason, once I got this authorization letter, I started booking for my flights and then my Airbnb. I booked an Airbnb for my stay, though I did mention my friend's address in my 4-pointer mail. I did not stay at my friend's place. I actually stayed at Airbnb for especially for my quarantine time frame. I was a little doubtful here if that would cause an issue, because I gave my friend's address and then here I'm booking an Airbnb, but the authorization letter did not mention as to where I was gonna stay as per whatever declaration that I had done. So I took a chance of traveling with this discrepancy, and luckily everything went fine, and I did not face any issues. Even at the immigration, they just asked me where am I gonna quarantine, and I gave the address of Airbnb, and that was it. And if you wanna know how my whole travel experience went by, and want to clarify any of the questions, I have another video in this playlist which talks about my whole immigration and the travel experience that I had. Do check it out, and if you have any further questions about 4-pointer mail, what did I reply, and any follow-up questions on that, please do reach out to me. So you can comment on this video, and also like and subscribe more for more videos with regards to the whole immigration process. So thank you guys, thank you for watching. That's pretty much what I had for this video. Hope you like it, and if, as I mentioned, if you have any questions, please do comment onto this video. Thank you. Bye bye.